you're welcome to this week's edition of the Magnets, lending a voice to business growth and mentoring on television. We are set for another session today. And guess what? We have a foremost health administrator, hospital management administrator. She's going to be sharing her thoughts with us. And recall that she also, has traversed various parts of the globe in a bid to nurture her profession. What are we talking about? The program is the Magnets. Let's give you a brief citation of our magnet for the week. And you agree with me, she's eminently qualified to lend a voice to the subject matter of today. Is the Magnet? We'll be back shortly.
Mrs. Fatimo Olusola is a seasoned administrator with core background in economics, nursing, health service administration, and human resource management. She has had the opportunity to serve in various administrative capacities over the years in several governments, adding value to service delivery and humanity. She is a good communicator, empathetic, passionate, confident, reliable, and a very good organizer who is committed to excellence with strong leadership instincts. She had an education with certification in midwifery, School of Nursing and Midwifery. In the year 1984, she proceeded to obtaining HND in Hospital Administration from the London South Bank University, UK in 1987, and also MA Economics, Health Service Administration and Management from the prestigious Manchester University, UK in 1989. She has worked in several government hospitals within and outside the shores of Nigeria in a senior administrative capacity as the head of administration. She had a stint in serving as hospital administrator at the Fujairah Emirates, United Arab Emirates in the early 2000 to 2007 as an administrative support personnel liaison officer between the hospital and its patients and clients, as well as other employees, both clinical and non-clinical, in ensuring the seamless day-to-day running of the hospital. She has served in the capacity as Head of Administration and Human Resources in Massey Street Children's Hospital between 2008 to 2011 and presently in General Hospital, Odan, Lagos till date. As a devoted Muslim, she took up the legacy of supporting the cause of Islam in various capacities where her father, late Alhaji Chief Zakaria Olayiwola Babalola, OON, left off with Ansaruddin Society of Nigeria. She is also a member of LEMU, Lekki Muslim Ummah, Lekki Phase 1. In August 2021, she started a non-profit breast cancer awareness group with the help of notable professionals to bring closer to the people, especially women, on the benefits of regular breast examination as well as prompt medical intervention as the case may be. On 19th December 2021, she was conferred with a Branch Merit Award by the Ansaruddin Society of Nigeria, Mushin, for her path in promoting the cause of Islam through her support and contributions. Mrs. Fatimo Olusola is a virtuous wife, a loving mother, an amiable leader, a lover of family and people irrespective of their age or background.
Welcome back. The program is the Magnets, lending a voice to business growth. Do recall that you can always watch this episode and past episodes of this program on our YouTube channel, Ames Media Company. You'll be glad you did. It's a great pleasure to welcome to the Magnets Mrs. Fatimo Braimo Ne Babalola. You're welcome to the Magnet, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Now, your citation that we just listened to, your short profile, says that your first course ever after secondary education was midwifery. Why the choice of midwifery amongst other courses and career in the globe?
Thank you so much. My choice of this profession came as a result of my childhood experience with my grandparents. I used to stay with my grandmother, and at that time, we normally visit various hospitals because of her ailment. She had peptic ulcer at the time. So from one teaching hospital to other, from UCH, Ogbomoso, Luf, and anytime we go, that I go with her, I will see nurses in their nice,
Impeccable white.
impeccable white, beautiful. Their white shoes, cap, and this
You
one
got attracted.
got. And I said to grandma that I want to be one of these people when I grow up.
Interesting.
So at the time when my father asked, "What are you going to study after your secondary?" I said, "I want to be a nurse." I did not realize, I did not know the difference between the midwifery and the nursing.
Okay.
But when the chance came, our governor then, of blessed memory, Baba Jakonde, gave many people amnesty to, not amnesty per se, there was acute, there was acute shortage of midwives in many of our institutions. So they now said, we are the largest, although we had 1 to 6 group, but not as large as our own group of March 1982. So we are over 100 and something, if I can remember correctly. So that's how I entered School of Nursing, Awolowo Road, Ikoyi.
Okay, it's good you are talking of nursing, midwifery. A lot of people confuse it. From my own layman's knowledge,
Okay.
I think midwives are those who deliver, just like the gynecology kind of.
Exactly.
And then the nursing and the general. You don't want to use this opportunity to clarify this for some of us who may not know.
It's like putting the horse before the cart.
Okay.
But at the time that we were going for this course, we were not told of the difference. But, midwifery is like, it's a subspecialty
of nursing.
Okay. You are supposed to do your general nursing first,
okay,
after which you can specialize in midwifery, psychiatry, ophthalmology, anything you want to face, anesthesia, things like that. Okay?
How would you rate the care for citizens,
okay,
generally, hospital care for citizens generally?
Well, the hospital care for our citizens is not optimal yet, but the government is really trying to even do more. And I'll give you an example. Remember, you mentioned Island Maternity. At the time that we were doing training, there was no MCC. But because of the teeming population, and then, Lagos State,
they are trying.
They are really trying.
Can't
and
compare them
people,
with other
they
states.
refer people
from other states.
To come to Lagos State, to come and access.
From neighboring countries.
Yes, now, from Cotonou, to come and access
health facility.
So therefore, government, what they are doing now, they are renovating some of these old, like the hospital I work is over 130 years.
Wow.
But today, Governor Sanwo-Olu really gave us
some
facelift, serious facelift.
Is it lately there has been a lot of high brain drain of virtually all health personnel, from nursing, doctors, physiotherapists. What do you think is responsible for this?
Before, it used to be doctors, nurses. Now, physiotherapy, scientists, laboratory, even some ICT people, they too, they are looking for greener pasture. But what I can tell you, number one is socio-economic/political. The economic situation of the country is not in alignment with what the expectation of our people.
For our practitioners.
Some of them, the accommodation is a challenge. The remuneration is not good. It's not matching the type of life that you believe the doctors or the nurses should. That's why the heavy duty, heavy workload they face. And then the insecurity in the country is another challenge. So when opportunity comes, people opt. But lately, the Ministry of Health, in conjunction with Health Service Commission, they've been coming up with
different incentives
and even capacity building, then to encourage people, because there's no motivation really. Welfare package is not good, and everybody is aware of that, and then they are listening.
It's interesting because these same people, when they probably work with attitude here, but they go abroad.
They change.
They are rated Yeah,
the
because we
best.
have a lot of our
Mm,
indigenous citizens,
yes.
Nigerian citizens, that are performing exceedingly well abroad.
Yes. Number one, discipline. There, there are rules for everything, and the provision is there. They are not worried about transportation. They know that 8 o'clock they're supposed to resume duty 8 o'clock. They must be there because the vehicle that will take them from their house, the train, everything is available to them, and they are well motivated,
Well
and then
paid,
they do a lot of things for them.
and the equipment to work with.
Equipment is another thing. Some of our people, they are good theoretically, intellectually they are very sound, but where is the equipment to? Now they talk about keyhole surgery, this, but in our own hospital we are still doing the manual. Maybe some private hospital, but how many people can afford the private this is the so the policy needs to change.
From your resume, we observed that you had a master's degree in economics. Is it to fortify your midwifery or hospital management practice that you decided to go for that?
Yes, the MA Econs is a branch of this hospital management. You know, my first degree is hospital administration. So when I went to Manchester University, they said you have to know more about economics before you can be because you can practice. So in this subject, you study accounts, the store, all sorts of all the branches. We call it in the medical line. We have clinical, non-clinical. So since you are the administrator of the hospital, you are in charge of this. That you'll be focusing on this area. Why the medical directors of the hospital face the clinical aspect, but you still support, you operate, you coordinate all the very, like my duty now in general hospital, all the, I'm the head of admin and HR, the issue of leave, application for this, that, you cannot be buttoning the medical director with that kind of thing. So
you're in charge.
I'm in charge of that, although I still make reference to maybe he's the CEO.
This is the Magnets coming to you, and then we are having a chat with Mrs. Fatima Buraimon, me, Babalola. Let's go for a short break. The program is The Magnets. We'll be back to, continue the interactive session. You're welcome back to the program.
Thank you, ma.
Mrs. Fatima Buraimon, me, Babalola. I won't forget that. Okay, now, let's go comparatively, because your citation says that part of your education was abroad in the United Kingdom, precisely, even though part of your practice was also in EAU, right?
UAE. United Arab
Emirates, that we know as Dubai.
Yes.
Dubai, you know? Comparatively, how do you think the practice in public health facility in the foreign land, because even while you in UK, you must have done some form of internship with some of the public facilities. How do you compare them with talking about our conversation we started with?
Everything boils down to attitude and motivation. Over there, everything is being provided for the workforce. Thereby, they rate the health worker there as their inpatient.
Okay.
And they believe that if you take care of inpatient, outpatient, which is the customer, you'll be well taken care of. That's why I said that the discipline, if you are not disciplined, you cannot work there. And that's why you find that our people, when they travel, they told, because they have a process already there. They just key in. But in Nigeria, lack of job satisfaction, indiscipline, everything you can talk about, and then before you can do anything, somebody is calling you somewhere. They interfere in there. So this thing affects most of this productivity.
Okay.
And that's why we are like.
Okay, before we go to your pet project, I said it named Babalola, but tell us a bit about your childhood. I mean, what kind of parenthood did you have? to have made you to excel? Because earlier on you made reference to your dad. What do you want to do? What do you want to study? You understand? Good thing you still have your mom alive.
Yes.
You know, even your
Alhamdulillah.
dad is a highly celebrated
Yes.
personality in Nigeria. So tell us a bit about your childhood.
My father came from Ede and to settle in Lagos. I think he came around 1950 something. I can't remember the. So I'm the second child of him. We are 13 in number. We had a happy childhood. We are close to our father. Anybody that knows the family will tell you this. The education to him, he gave all of us equal opportunity. 13 of us, we passed through UK, and sky is the limit for you. If you want to do more than master, so it gives you opportunity. And he was blessed. He got the resources to do that for us. That was my father for you.
Good. Now let's talk about your pet projects.
Yes.
I want to ask if it is out of experience, it may not be personal, it could be somebody else's experience. You are championing an advocacy on breast cancer awareness.
Yes.
To the extent you are even putting pen to paper.
Yes.
What informed that your pet projects?
This question you ask is personal to me because I'm a survivor.
Really?
I've been on this journey since 1992.
Wow.
I was barely 32 when I was diagnosed with breast cancer. But early diagnosis saved my life. But we are still, every day we take each day as it comes. So that's why I said we give all glory, adoration, thanks to Almighty Allah for making me still be alive today. It's not my life power, but
you may need, this is very interesting because not too many people would want to even talk about it when it is personal.
Yes.
Okay.
So like 3 years ago, like I work in general hospital.
Public sector.
Some doctors, they came to me that they needed my help, and I said, for what? That we need to have breast cancer group. And I was like, why do they come to me?
They didn't know your situation.
They didn't know because
it's
something that I'm always keeping under wraps. It's not something, because Nigerian,
stigmatization.
You say, anything. We say, maybe that thing again. But I've been managing myself. Only very close people and family knows about this situation. So I just smile. So it was later the oncologist now came and said, Auntie, I saw you were smiling. Why? So I told you that I'm a survivor. He said, you are not showing it. I said, how do you want me? You are a doctor. Do you want me to? He said, please, you have to join us. I said, yes, I've already volunteered at that. So we started that project. But like the question you asked before, brain drain took the psychiatrist away. So now the group is like half dormant. So it was because of that group that something in me said, why don't you? And I said, my 60th is coming. By the grace of God, I want to do something. I always tell my husband that there's no point. Why do you want to celebrate birthday? But when that thing came, and I said, this is an opportunity to tell the world that the story that some people, when they see you, they say, so there's hope. But the thing is, early diagnosis is the key to this thing. There's no shortcuts. Because we found out in that small group that we had that some people, they discover early, but some of them go to the churches, they go to the imam, they go to abalis to get shortcut.
State of denial.
By the time they return back to us in the hospital, maybe 3, 4, which is late. And they will say, maybe some people believe it's an offer, it's arrow, is this. It's not like that. When you discover this, you still live quality life.
Let's look at what you have done so far in the area of advocacy.
Yes.
Before now, you gave an insight into the little group that you have. Share that with us.
Yes. So, like I said before, I was thinking that I want to give something back. And just to say thank you, Allah, for sparing my life till now. So I called one of my doctor, a very good friend. I told her that I plan to have this outreach so that we can tell people that this thing is not a death sentence. So awareness, and then we can teach them how to examine themselves. So he said, okay, then we pull, like my husband, we pull resources together. That's how we started on the 26th of August last year.
Okay.
So our first point of call was a Scott Market in Lagos Island.
Okay.
We had over 115 people that came for the test. It was a big thing, jingles, it was really, really nice. We had everything documented. So out of this 115, 5 people came positive that we discovered.
That they didn't know before.
They didn't know anything. They were just walking in. And they thought, it's a Mori. But they made up, things like that. So then we now link them with the hospital care, and then we follow them, and I give my number. So we teach them how to examine themselves, and then they shouldn't keep quiet. And then even if you seek help, talk. If you don't talk, that's when the problem comes. So then second one, we went to Union Homes. We had over 120, but fortunately for us, nobody came. But we discovered a huge hypertension. BP, because we joined that. BP and then the examination. So
the stress in Lagos.
More than half of the people that came to us, huge hypertension. BP, because we joined that. BP and then the examination. So
the stress in Lagos.
More than half of the people that came to us, they are hypertensive.
Walking corpses. They didn't even know.
Yeah, so they didn't know. So we had to send them. I said, we are not into treatment, but we will link
you up with the relevant
card so that they can give them fast track treatment at the hospital. So,
interesting. As this conversation was going on, you kept making reference to your husband. The little I know of him is also a medical personnel, retired but not tired.
Yes.
How has his profession added value to your practice?
A lot. My practice or my life or everything overall is a wonderful man. And any day, anytime, my number one supporter. Anything I want to do.
Your cheerleader.
My cheerleader. So apart from my work, because the way I work now, he happens to be the consultant there before, in charge of hematology. The hematology, blood doctor, the sickle cell, anything disorder in the blood. He was in charge before we went to Saudi Arabia, then Dubai later. So, when you are receiving cancer treatment, your blood test is very important. So during those periods, it was always there to analyze. So I'm always joking that I have more than 2 doctors. Because the hospital doctor we do there is 2 we say, no, this is high. This white cell is not normal. We have to do something. So I was lucky, and I'm still lucky to have him beside me.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Now, before we round off, you are not just doing this advocacy. You are sort of also focusing on something, a legacy that would live after you.
Yes.
Put a pen to paper.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
Yeah, the book. I'm writing a book to be launched on my 60th, inshallah, on the 27th of July this year.
Okay.
So the book details the happenings in my life. I don't want to give anything out now. So we wait until that day.
Okay.
The day I was born, the book actually started from the day I was born, all the things that happened that day.
You were told.
Yes, my mother is alive.
Okay.
And she will relate it. And God will spare her life till that day and beyond. The book focused mostly on this journey, on the breast cancer.
Telling your own story.
My own story, in my own word. And how you can
survive.
Make it survive. How can you make it like it's just like headache?
Not a death sentence.
No. 31 years and now I'll be 60. So look at the gap, 29.
Of battling this.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
and you're looking so radiant. As if nothing.
It was this journey that made me to meet my husband. I met him along this journey.
Wow.
And that's when I said that, some people, when they hear, they run. But my husband said one statement that really got us in my family. When he said he want to marry me, we met in Saudi Arabia.
I mean,
he proposed to me in Saudi. I know him from Nigeria, but nothing. So I said, don't you know what the diagnosis? He said, life and death belongs to Almighty God. That's what he said, and that was it.
And you are still here till today.
Alhamdulillah.
What do you intend to do with the launch of the book, apart from making a statement and telling your story?
Like I said, apart from the awareness, now I'm focusing on the awareness, creation of awareness. But if Allah wills, we have enough, we can venture into treatment. You know, cancer treatment is expensive.
Very expensive.
You cannot take, maybe it's surgery that I'll be focusing that we have these resources at hand.
Have a niche.
We have it. So that one, radiotherapy we still cannot because it's far, but we can direct, we can link them because I received some of my, apart from UK, Singapore, I was in Singapore, I had my operation in Singapore, and they have impeccable medical facility there. They have a huge hospital for cancer, any form of cancer. And we have the personnel there so that we can link them, we can refer, we can. So I intend doing that, and I intend doing it to help people. All my life, I like to help.
That's a laudable to you, know, being selfish and all that. Now, what's your final counsel? Okay. Travails of life.
Yes, I will just say, if you face one challenge or the other, not necessarily the breast cancer, it can be anything, maybe hypertension, diabetic. Know that this life, you only have this life once. Be focused on where you are going.
We'll be chatting with Mrs. Fatimo Brimo Babalola. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
The program has been The Magnets. Remember that you can watch this program and many more of such on our YouTube channel, Ames Media Company. If you enjoyed what you saw today, are you motivated? Make a date with us same time next week. We shall bring another equally cerebral guest. Until then, bye for now.